Hola, hola, bienvenidos, bienvenidas to a new session, a new episode of the WorldsAcross Tool Box. My name is Juan, and today we're gonna be talking about an important topic in the Spanish grammar, an important tense, present perfect or pretérito perfecto compuesto. Okay, and this is one of the most important and commonly used tenses in Spanish, right? Okay, let's start from the beginning, from the top, right? So, the main difference between pretérito perfecto compuesto and the pretérito indefinido is that in the pretérito indefinido, the action happened in the past and stayed in the past, right? It ended there. In the pretérito perfecto compuesto, the action happened in the past, but in a way it has a relationship with the present. What do I mean by this? Let's take a look at an example, okay? He vivido en Cartagena por 5 años. He vivido en Cartagena por 5 años. I have lived in Cartagena for 5 years. So you started living in Cartagena 5 years ago, but you're still living in Cartagena. So that started in the past and has a direct relationship with the present, okay? As easy as that. As you can see, the translation, if you want to see it like this, of the pretérito perfecto compuesto is the present perfect in English, right? The use of verb have as an auxiliary, and then participle, a past participle of the verb, of the action verb, right? So, for example, in English you would say, let's use the same example. I have lived in Buenos Aires for 5 years, right? I have lived. A pronoun, verb have working as an auxiliary, and then the verb in participle. It's more or less the same in Spanish. And the difference is that we're gonna build the sentence with the pronoun yo, tú, él, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, right? Then we're gonna use an auxiliary, but not the verb have. It's tener, right? But we're gonna use the verb haber, okay? This verb, and we already have a toolbox talking about the verb haber. You can take a look at the video right here. But it's one of the most important verbs in Spanish. In this case, it's working as an auxiliary, okay? Then we're gonna have the verb and the action verb in participle again. Yo he jugado, yo he comido, yo he vivido. As you can see, how the verb ends is with ado, ido, right? Comido, jugado, dormido, leído. We have a lot of verbs that, by the way, they're like non-personal verbs. They don't change with the pronoun, okay? It doesn't matter what pronoun do you have in the sentence. It's always going to be the same participle of the verb, okay? What is going to change is the conjugation of the verb haber. You can take a look at it right here, okay? So why is this so important? You can identify this, like you can find a relationship, direct relationship with English. It's super common. Yeah, I have been here before, right? Like past experiences. Sí, he estado aquí antes, right? Maybe things that you haven't done, but it's possible, like you could do it in the future, right? For example, nunca he comido en ese restaurante. I have never eaten in that restaurant. You can even use the todavía expression, like no he comido en ese restaurante todavía. I haven't eaten in that restaurant yet. Okay? So let's recap. We have actions that began in the past and have a relationship with the present, right, that are still valid in the present in a way, we build it with an auxiliary. The auxiliary is the verb haber, that is going to be conjugated according to the pronoun, right? And then we have the verb participle, and it's not going to change with the pronoun, okay? Let's take a look at some examples, okay? Yo he jugado baloncesto antes. I've played basketball before. You know, like when you're right there, hey, you know how to play basketball? ¿Sabes jugar? Sí, he jugado baloncesto antes. All right, muy bien. Let's use another one. Let's use another pronoun. So you can identify, you can take a look at the example of changing the auxiliary. For example, ellas, han, take a look at how the auxiliary changes. Ellas han viajado juntas muchas veces. This is experience of their past, right? They have traveled together many times, right? So as you can see, it's very important and very common tense in Spanish and in English, right? It's a basic tense for the language per se. So try to practice. If you have examples, leave them in the comments below. And of course, you can take a look at our previous video about verb haber. That is pretty interesting. The use of the verb haber is pretty interesting, and you can like relate it with what we have talked today. So guys, como siempre, as always, it's been a pleasure. Nos vemos en el próximo Toolbox.